Okay. Hi everybody. Welcome to the first Scioly info session. I guess a round of introductions. I'm one of the co-captains. My name is April.
I'm Evan. I'm another co-captain.
And I'm Hannah.
Okay, so this is the intro meeting and information about tryouts this year. So Scioly is a team-based science competition, and we normally have 23 events that each team competes in, and each team consists about 15 members, so you would share around 3 to 4 events with another partner. And these events cover all sorts of different topics, and they are sectioned off into the different subtopics of study, engineering, and lab. So Scioly is a major time commitment, so you should consider that when applying for the team. Here are the important dates below. You'll notice that they're all in the second semester. So if you know that you have a specific sport in the second semester, well, I don't know if that would be applicable to this year. But if you know that you're going to be pretty busy in second semester, that might be something to consider, because Scioly does take up a considerable amount of time in second semester. And we will have regular study meetings every week around 2, and they are around 2 to 3 hours, and we will be taking attendance for those. So to further explain study and lab events, study events, as the name suggests, you mostly study for them, and then you take a test on site on the day of the competition. Sometimes there's also an accompanying activity that you need to do. For lab events, it's in a lab-like environment, and you have to analyze things as fast as possible within 50 minutes and give a conclusion and also perhaps take a test. So it's a large time crunch. If you like that sort of fast-paced science application, that might be for you. And there's also inquiry events, which are a combination of any of these two study/lab. These include experimental design, where you are given an experiment prompt and you have to do a whole science lab within an hour, or do it in which like a partner has to write instructions for making something. Finally, the last category is engineering events. This is definitely the most hands-on of all the events, and they apply a lot of physics and chemistry, engineering, and robotics and circuitry. There's a place called MakeX where you will work on these engineering products. Unfortunately, right now it is closed due to COVID-19. So these are kind of up in the air right now. And when you go on site to the competition, you demonstrate the device you created for that specific engineering event, and you are scored based on a rubric. So the palyscioly format is mostly student run. We don't have a lot of parent coaches. So a lot of your mentors are going to be people close to your age, just maybe a year or 2 older. We have 2 teams, a green and white team. The green is sort of the varsity, which mostly consists of merely more experienced team members, and white is like junior varsity. But the teams are very close. We collaborate together a lot, and they often place very close to each other at competition. We will have weekend study meetings and engineering meetings weekly. However, MakeX, once again, is closed right now, and you can also be an alternate. And you will have more opportunities to compete this year if you become an alternate, because there are a lot more what's called trial events, which are additional events on top of the 23 original events. So that's something to consider.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about the competition format a little now. So this year it's going to be a little different than normal, because usually all the schools will go to one place and we'll all compete there. But obviously that's not going to definitely happen this year. So there's a few different plans depending on how things are in the spring. So if we're unable to all compete at one place, the next best option is to have every team compete from their own school. And if that's still not possible because schools are still closed, then people will just have to test from their own homes. Obviously, if people are testing from their own homes, then some events won't be able to run because like engineering events, you can't grade that from home. So there's a whole list here. You can go through it on your own time if you want. And there's also a new resource this year called MySO. So there's going to be monthly themes related to Scioly topics like epidemiology. There's going to be free resources and some really exciting webinars and lectures. And every month there will be a competition. They're calling it a showdown, and there will be prizes for that. Now, as for our tryouts, they're currently scheduled for the week of September 28th. After school, you can see the schedule on the slide here. You'll have 30 minutes for each test. Do not be late for your test because you're gonna want every single second for these tryout tests. There's also an engineering test that's gonna be on Friday, October 2nd. And this is required for everyone. You're given 90 minutes and you don't need to study for it. So there's two types of tests that we're going to have. There's tests for stations events. The only two are ornithology and fossils. For these ones, you're given a set amount of time for a certain portion of each test. So the proctors will share their screen and show the test, and then they'll go on to the next section once time is up. For all other events, you're going to be given a link, and the link will be a PDF of the test. You'll write your answers on another sheet of paper, and you all will have to share your own screens to show that you're not like searching things up. Before each test, you should have paper and pencil. On some events, you'll need a note card and some type of calculator. You'll need to write your name, the event, and the page number on the top right-hand corner of each sheet of paper. For test submission, once time is up, you're given 5 minutes. This is kind of similar to the AP test. You'll have to take a picture of your work and upload it to a Google form that we'll send you. And if it's submitted after the 5 minutes are up, we're not going to count it. Some more things you should know. You should show up 5 minutes early. The Zoom links will be posted on our website, so you should check our website really regularly. We're going to be posting a lot of information there. Please don't cheat because we really value academic integrity here. And you're going to have to put your computer slightly further away from your desk so that your camera will show like your hands on your desk, just to ensure academic integrity. And the test proctors will be watching in grid view. The test, also, cheating is not going to be helpful for you here because these tests are written by like national or top teams from around the nation, and they're meant for 2 partners to finish in 50 minutes. And we're giving each of you half an hour to finish it. So there's no chance that you're going to finish any of the tests. So wasting time by Googling things is not going to help you at all, and it's going to be counterproductive.
Great. Okay, so now that we've gotten all of like the tryout logistics stuff, let's talk about how you can actually prepare for tryouts. So the first that is very important is by September 26th, you need to fill out this thing called a new member profile. And we're gonna give you the link at the end of this presentation. And we'll also post all these slides on our website, so no worries like if you miss something. But this new member profile pretty much asks us some basic information about you, like your name, your grade, what science classes you've taken, interests, and like extracurriculars and such, because we'll be looking into those when we're making our teams. And on this new member profile, we'll also ask you like which tests you're interested in taking, and we highly suggest that you take at least 3 tests, but honestly if you can, we would suggest that you take 4 or 5, because in Scioly each member competes in probably like 3 to 4 events, so you can't just be like good at one event. I'll go into that more later. And also just in preparation, please make sure you're available for the according testing dates that I think Evan covered just a little bit ago. Yeah, okay, so now how you can study. We've prepared like a lot of different study resources for you. So firstly, again, on our website, you can find all of the rules for this past season And the new rules for this like upcoming season haven't been officially released. They'll be released on September 8th, but you should expect that the rules will stay like really similar because all the events are going to be the same. There should only be some minor changes. So you can find all the rules for all of the events on our website. And another thing that we have linked on our website are resources that the previous Scioly team members have created for you guys. So each of those include a short little blurb explaining like what the event is about, as well as suggested study resources. And we'd really suggest that you look at these because these are what like current Scioly members are using to study. So you should expect that they're like pretty high quality. In addition, you can always check out these websites. So Sewing, Scioly, Wikipedia, your best friend, and various textbooks if you already have them. And yeah, so just make sure to check out those event descriptions before you decide which events you want to be studying for tryouts. Okay, so what to expect on the day of tryouts. As Evan mentioned, some events, or for some of the events, you'll be allowed to have a note card. Others, you'll be allowed to have like a list. I'll go into that more later on the next slide. And also, sorry, this is kind of like another note, a way you can prepare is you can go to like scioly.org and find old practice tests because those should be pretty good review. Okay, yeah, so this is a table, oh, sorry. This is a table of all the different like requirements for things that you're allowed to bring to tryouts. So you can see all the events on the left, and then if you're allowed to bring a note card, the note card should be a 3x5-inch like standard note card. And I mean, you guys can probably read, it says like, yes, if you can have it, no, if you can't. And for most of these events, you'll be allowed to have a 2-sided note card. So that means you can write whatever information you want, whatever you can cram onto this note card is what you can bring to like the testing to reference. But some events, like you'll notice like anatomy and forensics only allow you to have one side. And other events, for example, fossils and ornithology, we're allowing you to print out the list of all like the organisms or the fossils beforehand that you can reference during it. But outside of these like regulations, you can't bring anything or reference anything during the test. And for this note card, you can choose like how you want to design it. Most people end up like printing something out that's 3x5 because you can like fit more into that area, but you could also definitely handwrite it if you want to do that. Some general side notes and tips. Biology events tend to be pretty popular because everybody takes bio their freshman year. And so that's just something to keep in mind when you're selecting your events. Generally, we also don't recommend doing well in just one event. We'd rather see somebody who places pretty consistently in like maybe 3 to 4 events rather than somebody who's really good in one event but just completely bombs all of the others. Pick events that you're interested in because those will be the events that you'll be like studying in and competing in for pretty much like the rest of the school year. So you don't want to get stuck with something that you don't actually like. Really study hard. Effort does shine through. I think if you put in a lot of like hard work and effort, you will see good results. It's definitely not like kind of like a luck-based thing. But also make sure to prioritize what information you study. There are like so many different things in each event to study, so make sure to kind of get like a good broad understanding and don't just dive like super deeply into one thing. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to email us at palyscioly@gmail.com and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. And lastly, don't like freak out if the test seems really, really hard. Like as Evan mentioned, these are like national level tests or like national or state level tests. And last year, like every year, there's like some tests with averages of like 30%. So don't worry if you like don't know how to do anything. Okay, and then this is kind of on a tangent to Scioly, but if you are interested in exploring other kind of science competitions, there's Science Bowl, which is a buzzer style competition where 2 teams of 5 compete against each other to compete in like a very high speed, kind of high stakes setting. And there'll be more information about Science Bowl during Club Day. And if you have any questions, you can email them at palyscioly@gmail.com. I know it's also a really fun competition to compete in with like a slightly smaller environment and a lot more questions. And then there's also individual Olympiads that you guys can look into. So there's physics, bio, and chemistry. Not exactly sure how those will work this year with COVID, but as we have more information, you guys might also get some emails from us about those Olympiads if you're interested. Okay, yeah, and then this is the new member form that I mentioned earlier. Please fill this out before September 26th. If you don't fill this out, you can't really try out. So make sure to fill this out. Again, these slides will be emailed to you guys and posted on the website. So don't worry if you can't get this link down. But yeah. Okay, I think that's it. Does anybody have any questions? Feel free to like type in the chat or unmute and just ask.
Like the information with the physics, like all the competitions and like the club information, will it all be on the website?
Yeah, we'll post these slides on the website too. Any other questions?
If you guys don't have questions, you guys can like feel free to just head out. Thanks for
Yeah.
coming.
Good luck on studying.
Yeah, and we'll stick around for anybody who does have questions.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
I kind of wanted to ask another question about like the actual testing when it comes to like tryouts. So, if you like look through the list and there's something that you're really interested in but you're not that good at, and like you try to study using the resources, um, is it still possible to like get in, or do we have to like learn the topic in depth?
I would say just do the best that you can with the time that's given, and effort definitely does shine through. And tryouts is not, or the team selection process is not just about test scores.
Yeah. Like oftentimes if you are interested in the subject and you do go like into depth, or you only like maybe you learn kind of more of the basics so that you get a general feel of the entire test, it'll show on your test. So don't worry about that.
Okay, thank you.
People have to do the new member profile, or
Yeah,
has to.
everybody has to do it.
Returning members too, Johnny.
have
Yeah.
a follow-up question. Evan, why are you so cute today?
Thank you, Johnny, but no you.
Thank you.
Okay, does anybody have any questions? Everybody here is returning except for one person. No?
They might be AFK.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, we can probably end this meeting, right?
Yeah,
Did we record it?
Jeremy, do you have questions? Or?
yeah. So you take a picture of the test and then you submit it on a Google form.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Like take a picture of like a sheet of paper is what we're planning. So like that way for people who are printer challenged like me, like you don't need a printer. You can just like write it on a sheet of paper and then submit it. Yeah.
okay.
Hopefully that doesn't get too
We should have
annoying with,
mentioned
like,
that you could also print out the test ahead of time if you wanted to, like when we sent it.
But we're sending out the
Yeah.
test like during the 30 minutes, right?
No, well, we'd
Yeah,
probably have
or,
to
like,
send
the
it out
minute
5 minutes
before.
before to like take like full advantage of the 30 minutes.
Yeah.